Welcome to Higher Powered Learning Now. We're reading from The Living Clean, The Journey Continues, and the subtopic is A Vision of Hope. Learning about acceptance, love, and compassion helps us to accept ourselves without conditions. As our faith deepens, our understanding of what it means to act in good faith changes as well. We no longer use our disease or where we are in our recovery as an alibi for bad behavior. Our recovery is constantly enriched by what we learn. We make peace with ourselves and with all we have gained and lost and learned and become. We find gratitude for the events that brings us to this moment. The process is a power greater than ourselves. The reward for staying with it is feeling at peace with who we are. Self-acceptance changes over time. We learn to live with our frailties and imperfections. We find that the defects we accept and forgive are more likely to be removed than those we fight against and try to control. We can mistake the obstacles in our path for a part of ourselves. Learning to direct our attention toward our assets and goals and away from our defects and obsessions is a new freedom. We start to believe that our positive attributes are not part of a facade or a figment of our imagination. Our feelings don't frighten us like they used to, and they seem to pass more quickly. We know that we may not change our feelings right away, but we can change our behavior. Mood follows action. When we do the right thing, we can start to feel better. The person we see in the mirror may bear little resemblance to the version of ourselves that other people know. When we are locked in self-obsession, we may have no idea of the damage we are doing to the people around us or even to ourselves. Similarly, when we reach out, we may not see the positive effects we have on our own spirits or the world around us. We may still see ourselves as we were when we got here, not recognizing that the principles we have been practicing have become part of who we are. We trust our sponsors and friends to show us the changes we cannot see in ourselves. Caring for our spiritual condition is like cleaning the house. If we want the benefit, the work must be ongoing. The better we do it at keeping up with our daily routines, the less painful the big cleaning is when it comes, and the less often we have to undertake a major overhaul. We are responsible for our recovery, but that doesn't have to be an endless chore. A member shared, "There was a time when I dreaded step work. It felt like a punishment. Now I am excited to work on my recovery because I know the steps are the road to freedom." It's not recovery that is painful. Our resistance to it is what hurts. When we step away from our recovery and act against our beliefs, that hurts. Using is about distortion. We are drawn to things that distort our perception, from drug use to resentment. Sanity is living in harmony with a reality. When we are spiritually awake, we are willing to see clearly. We recognize the habits of mind that lead us back to the same feelings over and over, regardless of what's happening around us. Until we stamp it with the name excitement or fear, the feeling can be identical. Making a choice in how we describe our experience gives us a choice in how we experience our lives. Allowing ourselves to be happy can be a surprisingly long process. It always continues in one way or another. Some of us fear contentment because it might lead to complacency. Others of us fear that if we are ever content, there will be nothing left to try for. Learning what truly makes us happy can be hard, especially if our relationship to seeking pleasure was tangled up with our most destructive behavior. Finding the balance is a challenge. When I got clean, I could feel the grief of every leaf falling from the tree. a member shared. I feel like a novice at finding joy. I thought I would have to let go of pleasure to be clean. When we learn about love in the rooms, prepares us for what we learn about love in the rooms, prepares us for other kinds of relationships. We may find love, create families, or be restored to the families we had left behind. Some of us discover that we have talents for contributing to the world in other ways, whether through our creativity, our empathy, or our added ability to focus on one thing and do it till it's done. The skills we learn in the rest of our lives, in turn, became tools we use to help carry the message. When we stay involved with NA, we can see that we have a valuable contribution to make to the world. We may not see all these changes at first, but we feel it somehow and get a glimmer of hope that our lives are changing.